Assalamu alaikum everyone and welcome. This is Azam Ali, the Program Quality Director of District 122. I will request our MOC, Toastmaster Tahreem Khwaja, to kindly start the event. Over to you, Toastmaster Tahreem.
Thank you so much, DTM Azam Ali. So, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My name is Toastmaster Tehim Hwaja. I cordially welcome you all for training for Chief Judge and Contest Chairs arranged by District 122P, in which you will learn to elevate the quality, discipline, and adherence to rules in your contest by focusing on two critical roles: contest chair and chief judge. By mastering these roles, you will arrange a more fair, organized, and high standard contest environment. To officially start the meeting, for the welcome address, I would like to call DTM Azam Ali. He is a fellow member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Pakistan and Cost and Management Accountants of Pakistan. He is currently working as a head of finance of a listed company. He has served in various positions in District 122, including founding president of Century Paper Toastmasters Club, area director, division director, and club growth director. He is presently serving as program quality director. So over to you, DTM Azam Ali. Sir, please.
Thank you very much, MOC. So again, welcome to all of you. And you know that the contest season is in progress. And knowing the contest rule is very important to organize a good contest. And these two roles, chief judge and contest chair, are the backbone of the quality contest. So that's why we are organizing this contest. And today we have two esteemed trainer and who have profound knowledge of the the rules and regulation. So whenever I feel any issue, I always contact to bother to Toastmaster Imran Rana because he is my colleague as well, office colleague as well. So since I joined the Toastmaster, I always contact him for getting the understanding about the rules. And I have seen to Toastmaster Hina as, and I'm always inspired with her knowledge. So today, both are delivering very important uh, trainings, and I believe that all the district member will get the benefit of this training. So with that, I would like to give the charge back to the MOC. Toastmaster Tarim, over to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Azam Ali. So, for our first esteemed trainer, Toastmaster Hina Ali. Toastmaster Hina Ali, she's an accountant by profession, auditor by service, and now attached to a special needs institute for children as an administrator. She has been with Toastmasters since December 2007, having served in a number of positions. She currently coordinates and counsels the Karachi Cable Club. Over to you, ma'am. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Tahreem. Thank you for the welcome. Thank you, Toastmaster Imran, for contacting me for this role. I'm honored. And Azam, for putting your faith in me. Now, as we start this training, I just wanted to know how many people are interested in doing this role. Just as if I could have a raised hand. Okay. All right. Okay. Great. Nice to know. Now, if you think about when we have a general Toastmasters meeting, there's somebody who's running the show. And that's usually the Toastmaster of the day. In a contest, if it is, say, just the one contest, that person is your contest chair. The contest chair's role is pivotal to ensuring that we have a good contest, that everything runs before the contest, during, and after. They have the responsibility with them, according to Toastmasters International's rule book, number of things, which I'll share with you briefly. But usually in our Toastmasters Club, you will have a lot of seniors helping you to arrange all of those things. This includes finding role players for your contest. It includes encouraging and promoting your contests so that you have contestants in time for the actual contest. It can also, in certain cases, include, with the help of other people, finding an appropriate venue, deciding a date and time for the contest. Now, a lot of times, this all depends also on when we get dates back from, say, our area, when the area contest is happening. So based on that, we have to decide the date of the actual contest. Again, a lot of times this happens in consultation with, say, the VP Education and the president of the club, and also the entire ExCom. So what is left for the contest year actually here, where we are right now and how we do things? As I said, mainly encouraging people and finding contestants, okay? Then ensuring that they are well briefed about the rules of your contest, whatever contest it may be. In Toastmasters, you may be aware we have 5 contests actually. And here in Pakistan, we have a 6th that we do, right? So we have the International Speech Contest, we have the Humorous Speech Contest, we have the Evaluation Contest, and we have the Table Topics Contest. Other than that, 5th contest that Toastmasters has is the Tall Taste Contest, which I believe we have in our program this year, in our contest cycle. And other than that, the 6th contest, which is very specific to our region and our district, is the Urdu Speech Contest. Now, with these contests in mind, each contest year needs to be well conversant with the rules of each of those contests. Some rules are general and some rules are specific. So you must know them yourself first. If you're not sure, don't understand, ask a senior, speak to someone, speak to your mentor, and make sure that you understand them well yourself. Because when it comes to the important aspect of briefing contestants, you have to know and must be confident yourself to be able to brief the contestants, right? So that is a very crucial part of the contest chair's role. Other than that, once we move from that, the next stage is the actual contest. In the actual contest, you would be the person who, say, after an MC has handed over to you your charge of the contest that you're running, and often we have more than one contest that may be happening in a contest day, even at the club level. So you take charge from the MOC, and then it's your show. You have introductions of what the contest is about. You don't have to give a whole list of the rules or re-explain everything. I'll come to that as well. You must know all your contestants' names. You must know how to say them, how the contestant prefers to have their name said, okay? And have done what we call a list of the speaking order, and I'll come to that as well, how we do that. All right. After that, we start the contest. You'll be inviting each speaker or each contestant one by one according to the speaking order, and I will take you through how you're supposed to do that. Once this specific aspect is complete, whether it is a speech contest or table topics or evaluations contest, once you have had all the contestants compete and this is done, we go into what is referred to as the sort of a certificate giving ceremony and take brief interviews till we have the results back from the judges, okay? And during this time, sometimes it can be longer, and I will tell you why as well. There may be what we call protests, and I'll explain what those are and who can raise them. But once everything has been wrapped up, you've done the interviews, and the chief judge, who is the officiating officer who would be looking after ballot counting and arriving at who the winners are of the contest, you are the official who receives these results. And as per the rule book, the contest chair then announces the winners. Okay, this is during the contest. So once this is wrapped up, after the contest also, the contest chair's responsibility is to also ensure that announcement of winners are made. Okay. It is also important for a contest chair to have a list of all the winners that need to be listed out in a very specific form, which is an official form from Toastmasters, and ensure that is completed, including with place, and they must have placements of all first, second, third, and remaining contestants that they will receive from the chief judge, so that they can provide these if they're at the club level to the area, if they're at the area level as a contest chair to division, if they're at the division level, they would be providing this to the district, right? And what you must maintain with you always, and why I'm saying this to you, is because I've had the misfortune of discarding this important information, and then we're at a loss. And that is, we should have the placement of all the contestants as they were voted for or the ballot results came through, so that in case our winner or the alternate isn't available, we still have people that we can send forward from whichever level we were at, usually say from the club level to the area level. We can send a contestant forward to represent us if our winner or second place holder is not available. Okay, so now to get into a little bit of the detail. In terms of the contest briefing, as I said, you need to know the rules. Most important in speech contests are the rules, for any contest actually, are the rules of eligibility. So as a contest chair, once you've found contestants, you have to make sure that these contestants are eligible to be part of the contest. There are two important rules here. The first one is that your contestant is a paid member, right? In certain speech contests, you are also required to then, for eligibility, have completed the first and second level of any pathway that you're doing. That is most important in the international speech contest. For the other contests, it's just important that the member is a paid member. How you can do that is find out from your treasurer, and also look to area or division to give you this information. I have 5 contestants. Please, can you confirm that all of these contestants are eligible to be part of this contest, right? One thing is that there's a form that they have to complete and give to you. Usually we're doing this at the last minute, but at your own level, you have to verify independently that your contestant is eligible to be part of this contest, right? So only in case of international speech, you have to make sure they also have completed the 2 levels, level 1 and level 2 of the pathway that they're doing. Again, for this, you can liaise with your club VP education, because that's the first level. Once that's done, as they go up into higher levels of contest, they've already met that criteria, so that won't be a problem. But for the eligibility of them being a paid member, I believe whichever level you are at for the contest as a contest chair, you have to find out at each level, right? Because contests can go on for a period straddling 6 months. So they may have been a paid member when they started, but they might not be when they're at area or division level. So do make sure about this crucial information. The other aspect that's very important, and that comes to when you're giving your briefing to the contestants. Generally, contestants should have read the rule book, okay, and understand what is expected of them in the contest. the most important thing in speech contests, especially, whether it's international, humorous, tall tales, or your Urdu speech contest, they have to maintain originality. So a level of originality that's required by Toastmasters rules is that they have to be have substantially original speeches. What do we mean by substantially original? It is that no more than 25% of their content is something that they may have taken as a quotation or a small poem or prose, or some sort of statistics that they've picked up, or a historical fact that they're sharing. Whatever these information that they're sharing to support their speech, and this happens often, that people will use that to give credibility to their speech. This is allowed up to 25%. You may have contestants ask you, what is 25%? So one of the measures of this, and I believe it's a fairly a good yardstick, is tell them however long your speech is, ensure that the time that you may say these facts or quotes or whatever it may be that is not your own, but you are taking it from a source, it is 25% of the time of your total speech, no more than that. And as far as possible, try to keep it lesser so that you do not end up being disqualified. Okay. The other aspect is whenever you're using such content, you have to give credit to wherever you've picked it up. So if it's a quote, a poem, whatever it may be, if it's facts, name the author. If you've picked up something from a book or you're quoting something from an author, name the author. If you've picked up some statistics, maybe name your source. So from the Ministry of Information, or from the Ministry of Health, I've picked up a fact about how much diabetes there is in Pakistan, for example. So they have to mention a source. You have to explain this to your contestants. These are, say, the most important aspects, because this is where contestants are most likely to get disqualified, right? Okay. Other than that, what you will brief your contestants on is the fact that the reason a person can get disqualified is, in terms of originality, is that there is a protest process. Okay. What you as a contest chair would need to know and understand is you are one of the people who can receive a protest, and other than yourself, a chief judge. So this is what you would be announcing. Contestants would usually come to you as the contest chair, as their official, to lodge a protest against another contestants that they have had unoriginal content, or they borrowed something that's too much, or indeed, in certain cases, completely lifted an idea or plagiarized another's speech or content, right? So you are the official who will receive this, okay? And then you would be the person who would be giving this information to the chief judge. The chief judge would be the person who, along with the voting judges, then would officiate a protest hearing. All this needs to happen before any results are announced. So a person may raise a protest during the contest, or just before, while we're having, say, the interviews, whatever, right? So at that point in time, chief judge will officiate over the voting judges, who will listen to what the protest is, invite the contestants against whom there's a protest so that they can respond. And then the voting judges, a majority of voting judges have to vote on whether the contestant is disqualified for originality. Okay, so this can be probably said in a briefer manner, but this is most important to communicate to your contestants, right? You may have different rules for different contests, but the originality one is the one rule in which, a person can be struck out from a contest. Okay, so that's most important when you're giving a contestant briefing. Usually, contestant briefings in the normal course are conducted just before the contests happen. Here in Pakistan, we have a tradition of doing these briefings as much as possible a day or so before the contest, so that if our contestants have some query, some issue that they want to clear, there is time. Usually when contest briefings happen just before a contest, they may be happening 20 minutes, 30 minutes before, and then there's no time to clarify something, and then people have to go in for contests. So here in Pakistan, we tend to do our contest briefings at least 24 hours to 48 hours before. So keep that in mind. Make sure your contestants are in touch with you and that they are well briefed and their questions are answered so that they don't have any surprises during the contest. Okay. When we are setting up this contest, another thing that needs to happen is you would need to work on the agenda. If you are the only contest chair, you have one or two contests, so work on the agenda with the VP Education. Usually, I think in our, again, scenario, the VP Education would take care of this, but definitely they consult you as the contest chair. Right. Once this is done, we then come to the actual contest. In contests here, usually we are deciding the speaking order when the contests start, and you have different ways in which you can decide the speaking order. Once you know exactly who your contestants are, there are different tools that are available online through which you can get a randomized, one is called a randomizer. There are others as well. And we basically put in the names and it gives us the order. Once we have this order, we have to announce this order and make sure that the judges have these names and these orders, okay? And the contestants also know what is their number in the speaking order, right? So this can be done just at the start of the contest. Personally, I prefer that when we're having the contestant briefing, once we've done the briefing, we take care of this aspect so that it saves us actual time when we're in the contest, right? But it's completely up to yourselves as the contest chair of the day and whatever you agree with your VP Education and the chief judge, right? When we start our contest, you can have an opening intro, which could be maybe a minute long of something interesting to bring the audience's interest into that contest, engage them. After that, the main thing to announce is that you have briefed the contestants about the rules of the contest, about the speaking order, sorry, not the speaking order, the speaking area, okay? And you can show this also. We've been having online contests for a long time, but we would have in-person contests now. So you have to have shown your contestants this before also, and then describe it or show it to the audience. Talk very briefly about the timing rules of your contest, okay? And that is the third reason why a contestant could be disqualified. So one is for eligibility, second is for originality, and the third and final one, which we find out about right at the end of the contest, is on time. As you know, each contest has its own timing rules, but one of the important things that you need to understand and communicate to your contestants and to the audience is if the contest time is, say, 5 to 7 minutes, your time would be minimum time to qualify would be you have to have completed 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And the maximum time is 7 minutes and 31 seconds. So even for timers, they would need to understand this. And you have to announce this rule clearly. You announce the timing cards, so the timer will show time green at 5 minutes, amber or yellow at 6 minutes, red at 7 minutes, and the speaker may speak for the next up to 31 seconds to qualify. So if it's 7 minutes, 30 seconds, and some milliseconds, they're qualified. This needs to be explained and announced, right? Once these rules are announced, if you have the speaking order, you announce the speaking order. Once the speaking order has been announced, you invite the first speaker on stage. And if it's an online contest, we usually ask them if we make sure that we can see them and hear them. For the audio, we give them a short verse or a phrase to say so that we can test that they are heard. Okay, and then once this is done, then you can say, "Are you ready?" Let them know who the timer is so that if it's online, they can pin the timer. If it's in person, let them know and ask them that this is where the timer is sitting. Please make sure that you can see them so that they can see the timing signals. All right. And with that, you announce their name, their complete name. You're not meant to give any other introduction, including what level they are at in Toastmasters. So there's no address of Toastmaster or distinguished Toastmaster. All contestants in a contest are considered the same. Just the name, their title, the title again, and the name. So this would be in any speech contest. If it is an evaluation or table topics contest, in evaluation, you would just announce their name twice. That's it. And then it's the speakers, the contestants' turn to speak. Their first verbal or non-verbal communication would be a signal to the timer to start the time. Okay. So if it's a table topic and you are a contest chair, again, very specifically, your responsibilities would include deciding the table topic. Sometimes contest chairs have more than one and request the chief judge to pick one out of, maybe they have them in envelopes or folded, and the chief judge will pick one, and the contest chair is supposed to hold on to that, right? When the contestants come on stage, they have to announce the name of the contestant and announce the table topic slowly and clearly twice, and then the name, and move away so that the contestant can start. Once the contestants have finished, whether it's a speech contest, a table topic contest, or an evaluation contest, the contest chair announces that there will be 1 minute of silence for the contestants, for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer is signaled to start the time quietly, and they have to quietly let you know through signal that the 1 minute is up. That's when you announce the next speaker, right? You will go through this for all the speakers until the last speaker is done. Once the last speaker is done, you have to request the timer to put 3 to 5 minutes on the timer to give the judges time to complete marking their ballots or totaling their scores and hand over their ballots to who we call ballot counters. These are people who will collect the scores from all the judges and pass these on to the chief judge. Now, once the chief judge gives you a signal and you have to agree the signal with them, they may announce something or you may ask them if 5 minutes are over. that this has happened, the chief judge would take his ballot counters and leave the room. And that's the time a contest chair will now invite each of the contestants in their speaking order to come receive their participation certificate and do a brief interview. Usually this, depending on the number of contestants, would take about a minute, minute and a half per speaker. And usually we hope by that time the chief judge has finalized the results. The chief judge would be looking at the ballots, and they would be looking at the timing result from the timers. So the timers will have noted if anybody's time, whatever the time is, and the chief judge from that can pick up who has may have been disqualified. Okay. Now, once this is done, they will give you these results, including letting you know if there have been disqualifications on timing. As a contest chair, you have to announce whether there were or weren't any timing disqualifications, and then announce the results. That would be a wrap. And as I explained to you, after this, you would need to complete some forms, which we'll share with you at a later stage, and provide these to the next level from where you're doing the contest. So that's briefly about your responsibilities as a contest chair. And now I'm open to any questions and answers that you might have. Can I have raised hands, sort of like that? That'll make it easier for me to know who's asking a question. Does anybody have any questions? No questions?
Toastmaster Hani raised my hand.
Okay, wait a second.
Can I ask a question?
Yes. Is that DTM Talha? Oh my goodness.
Yes. So, Toastmaster Hina, what perhaps it would be, I'm not sure if this would be covered by the chief judge trainer or himself, but perhaps it would be pertinent to mention disqualifications other than timing, maybe, and how to raise a protest and everything, because contestants can raise protests to the chief judge. Sorry,
Yes.
to the contest chair, right?
Yes,
So,
I have actually gone through that already.
oh, all right.
did.
Apologies, sincere apologies for that. I joined late. Over to you.
If you want, I can very briefly just go over it again. So, for the benefit of everyone here, nobody from the audience is allowed to raise a protest. Only contestants or chief judges may do this. And in role of a contest chair, you would be the person to whom your contestants would come with any kind of protest. They protest based on what I explained to you about originality. So a person may have used something and you feel it's completely lifted from somewhere, and the contestant may have proof for this, okay? And they'll come to you as the contest chair to raise the protest and say specifically which contestant the protest is against, right? Your responsibility then is to inform the chief judge. The chief judge will then take this protest, okay? And towards the end of the contest, when all the speakers have spoken, all right, ballots will have been collected in one place. But once all the speakers have spoken, the chief judge will take all of his judges aside or her judges aside, okay, inform them of the protest. The voting judges may decide that they would actually like to speak to the contestant who's raised the protest to understand better why they're raising this protest if it's not clear, okay, or if they have evidence to show. Other than that, once we've established that there is a valid protest in place, then the chief judge would call for the contestant against whom the protest has been placed to invite them in to respond to this protest. So they have a chance to say why they feel their speech is still original and not copied, not listed, or not lifted from somewhere else. And once we've listened to the protest, we don't have to give the contestant the result right then. We ask them to leave. They would be asked to leave. And the voting judges, only the voting judges, mind you, the chief judge is only officiating this particular process. He or she does not have a say in the a vote in voting for whether this contestant would be disqualified. And the voting judges have to be a majority who say that they voted that the person is disqualified. Based on that, so if there are 7 judges, 4 have to say that they believe that the protest is valid and the contestant should be disqualified. Based on this, the contestant is then informed that they have been disqualified. There is no formal announcement that is made of this, to my knowledge. Please correct me if I'm wrong, DTM Talha. I understand timing disqualifications are announced just in number, that there was 1 or 2 or no timing disqualifications. We do not normally announce originality disqualifications. The person who, yeah.
I think that needs to be confirmed. I understand, and perhaps someone else can correct me. I understand that any disqualification may be announced without naming, and that's what I understand. Yeah.
Okay. I will also make sure about this and get back to anybody who's interested can also get back to me.
Only the time disqualification announcement are made. Other than that, no announcement will be made or are made for no disqualification on the basis of originality announcement are made.
For eligibility, these are not announced. As far as my knowledge goes and what I've read and my experience of also observing many contests, only timing. So usually the contest chair will come up and say, we sadly had 1 or 2 time disqualifications, or on a positive note, I'm happy to announce there were no time disqualifications. And so now I announce the 3rd place winner is, and usually this is another thing for all the contest chairs, we announce from 3rd, 2nd to the 1st place winner. So, and this is how it's written on the form that's given to you. So make sure you read that properly and then announce it, because I know what people would remember the craziness that's happened on this. So for last, so 3rd place winner, 2nd, and then finally, and the winner of today's contest, and you announce the name, right? Okay. Is there any other thing that I could clarify? I'm available for anybody who'd like any other clarification on the contest chair's role. It's actually a very broad and big role, but mashallah, we have so many people around us who are helping to organize the contest, that contest chairs here in our clubs and areas usually will be the people who just need to know that, okay, can you just make sure that there are judges and judges have been arranged, or a chief judge has been arranged? And can I know who the contestants are? And we get the names of the contestants, the contact numbers. One of the important things that we can do to coordinate is at least 2 weeks before. I think it's a good idea to at least have a group formed 2 weeks before on WhatsApp. And hopefully everybody now has WhatsApp, so that you can have your contestants on the group and be conversing with them and coordinate with them a good time to have your contestant briefing a day before, 2 days before, or if they want, maybe if the contestants is in the evening and they're all fine to have the contest briefing in the morning, I would advise against it. But if they are, as long as you have a group, sometimes they can also be just clarifying some questions on the group as well. And that makes your contest briefing go smoother because you maybe just clarified a lot of things just on the group. Okay. It's important for the contest chair to have two things which we're not always making sure. One is the contestants' eligibility form, because we are supposed to have those beforehand. And I said we independently have to verify whether our contestants is eligible to be part of the contest based on the specific contest rule. As I said, international speech is important, where to have the member be a paid member at that point in time when they're in the contest, and also the fact that they have completed 2 levels. So we find that out through our treasurer and the VP education to confirm this to us, right? Club level. At a higher level, then it wouldn't be that. That would have been confirmed right at the first level, at the club level. After that, as I said, it's important to confirm their eligibility in terms of being a member in good standing, a paid member of Toastmasters. That is that we check that at every level. The contest chair needs to check that at every level. And other than that, we have a form that we get back. A lot of times our contestants don't give us those forms, but it's good to try to get them, keep your contestants engaged and get some information about them so that when you're doing the interviews, you could ask them something specific or interesting that's on their profile form. And that just keeps things lively and interesting during those interviews. Right. Have I missed anything? Can I ask DTM Talha, Toastmaster Imran, DTM Toastmaster Azam?
You have
I
thoroughly.
think it's covered very well.
Thank you.
Impressive. That was impressive. Your knowledge and your delivery both are very well.
Thank you. I need to work on my delivery for sure. I can be very don't. So I hope, and as I said to everybody who's here for this briefing, I'm available. My number, my WhatsApp number is available. And if you guys have any questions, I would be to clarify. With that, I'd like to hand over back to our MOC Toastmaster Tehreem. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Assalamu alaikum.